Okay, Spot. Like music? Okay, let's see. Had to turn off the music. That was a little Spanish music for you. You okay, Spot? Okay, this is the video I promised. This is going to be a test preparation for the math part. We're going to do one of the 5 problems, or rather 6 of the problems that are in the mock test 4 collection of questions, all questions from old tests. This one is a little different than we did today, or in some of the classes that you've been that we've been meeting and working on some of this Keynes material. All right. In other problems, we've been messing around with the MPC, changing that. In number 13 and 14, all the way through number 18, they work with changes in investment. So I'm going to work through this as reasonably quickly as possible. Try to post this video as soon as I can, and let's see how this goes. Okay. So let's pretend number 13 on your mock test 4, is the group of questions you have to answer for the test that's coming up. All right. You got the MPC 0.8, autonomous consumption of 4,000. That means we can set up a consumption equation. C equals 0.8y plus 4,000. I is 6,500. So just follow along. You should have the mock test sheet with you. All right, and then we can do this together. So with a C equation for household spending and an I constant, 6,500, for investment spending, then we can put together the equation for the entire economy, 0.8y plus 10,500. Right? All right. Since this is the very first problem in the test, we're going to have to show every single step perfectly. So I'm just going through the steps. I replace C plus I with Y for income, and then I'm going to put the Y terms together. And in just a few steps, we will have the marginal propensity to save, the NPS, of 0.2. So this line says 2/10 of income is 10,500. Knowing that, we should be able to divide both sides by 2/10, which I write out as a fraction. All right? Well, that means I can take 10,500 times 10 over 2. But what is 10 over 2? 10 over 2 is 5. And there you have it. There's the multiplier whenever the MPC is 0.8. 10,500 times 5. Couple zeros. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry 2. 5 times 10 is 50. Carry 2. I'm getting 52,500. All right? The routine always calls for us to, once we get the income level, to find the total consumption. 8/10 times 52.5 plus Uncle Harry's gift of 4,000. All right, well, I have a way of doing this. I take the 8 times the 5 for the 50,000. 8 times that, that's going to be a 40,000 right there. You can do this with your calculator, obviously. 0.8 times 2 is 16, so that's 1,600, right? And 0.8 of 500 is going to be 400. So I'm getting 42,000 here, plus 4,000. Which means my total consumption figure is 46,000. I sure hope that's right, or else I'm going to have to start the video over. but we'll see. Total saving. Total saving, Y minus C is the total saving. So I'm squeezing it in there. I'm squeezing all this on one page. 52,500 minus 46,000. There's the income. There's the consumption. Yeah, that difference is 6,500. 6,500, right? Beautiful. Why is that beautiful? Because S equals I. Just what we wanted. Just what we wanted. That's my weak attempt at a check mark, which means it's right. So hip hip. Hip hip. Hooray. Hip hip hooray. All right, so you got through number one. The routine is always the same. Now we want to draw that information on the 45-degree diagram. All right, I've set it up here, spending on the vertical, income on the horizontal, and the 45-degree line, which looks a little curved here, but we'll just have to go with it. All right, I'm going to need two lines. Start from there straight up. Start from there straight up. As parallel as I can. I need a number here to correspond to the autonomous element in consumption. The lower line is consumption. So that's going to be 4,000. 4,000. That makes sense, right? We added 6,500 of investment. So 6,500 goes there. 6,500 of investment. And together that adds up to 10,500, which gives me my total autonomous spending, the number I used, and multiplied by 5. So multiplied by 5, it's going to generate an income 5 times 10,500. There's the spot where the C plus I line intersects the 45-degree line. That's where I place 52,500. I'm pretty sure the camera catches all that. And there you go. A couple little more things you can add. The consumption value of 46,000 is seen right from that spot there where the consumption line crosses the line that's marking 52,500. So I'm going to write 46,000 of consumption for that height right there up to the consumption line from the bottom. And then that space there, that's got to be the saving of 6,500. And there's my saving of 6,500. This little height right there. From point to point, up to the 45-degree intersection with C plus I. This question will be worth 15 points. This first drawing will be worth 10 points. And you're on your way. All right? All right, so what I like to do is change an important value. Maybe an MPC value. Well, we did that in class. Or maybe, like in this set of problems, the investment number. So number 15 says, suppose investment in that problem had fallen, or will fall, to 4,500. All right, so here we go. Number 14. No, I'm sorry, number 15. Oopsie daisy. 15. 14 was the picture. Let investment go down to 4,500. Now it was 6,500, so it fell by 2,000. Investment fell by 2,000 and winds up at 4,500. All right, well, we have to redo the whole math. Let's try that. Let's set that up. 0.8y plus autonomous consumption was 4,000. I, down by 2,000 to 4,500. At this point, I hope you're thinking to yourselves, well, this is not going to be helpful for the economy. Every economist knows, of every persuasion, if investment falls, the economy is going to suffer and we're going to have a recession. So this is a recession scenario once you see the investment falling. You're just working out the math. C plus I is 0.8y plus 8,500. It used to be 10,500. Now the autonomous spending is 8,500. All right? Y replaces C plus I. That allows us to do the algebra. Now this is important. At this stage of the game, since you've done number one perfectly, shown every single step, you can take little shortcuts. That'll save you some time. Remember, the math section will go faster than the essays. So I'm going to suggest that you do the math first. It's just a suggestion. Do the math first, get a bunch of points, set it up, and maybe you can get it done in a half hour, right? Which gives you more time for your essays. Anyway, if I skip a couple steps, my next real important line is 0.2, 2/10 y equals 8,500. And then the big step, I'm skipping a couple steps, the big step becomes what? Y equals 8,500 times 5. All right. Looks like equilibrium income is 42,500. All right, yeah, there's definitely a recession. Income has fallen. Okay? So Keynes would say, look, autonomous spending is very important, and investment is most important of all. When investment falls by some amount, it's going to have negative multiplier effects. This fell by 2,000. The income fell by 10,000. You can recognize that already. 2,000 times 5 is 10,000. The multiplier is working in a negative direction. All right. So that's an important lesson. Let's do the consumption stuff. Let's see what happens to saving. That'll be important. C equals 0.8y, and that income is 42,500. We plug that in, plus 4,000. All right. 8 fours are 32. 32,000, right? Where can I write that somewhere? 32,000. 8 twos are 16, and 8 times 5 gives me a 400. I think this is going to be 34,000. I hope that's what you get in your calculators. Uncle Harry's gift in this problem is 4,000. So I'm getting a total consumption of 38,000. Right? You always have to find total consumption. All right, let's find total saving. Total saving. Y income equals C plus S. So Y minus C has got to be what? Sometimes I talk like I'm in class. There's nobody to answer that question. Y minus C is saving. Right, Spot? Right. All right. Anyway, let's see. 42,500 minus 38,000 gives me 500. That's a 5. 500 That is a 5. Dang. That's a 500. And 38 from 42. I'm getting 4,500. Is that a surprise? Well, wait a second. Investment fell to 4,500. Investment fell, and I has to equal S. Does it? Yes. Aha, this is the number we want. And that shows a relationship in Keynes. This turns out to be a vital thing. In our math here, investment fell. And as a result, the saving fell. That's the relationship that Keynes sees. If you've seen the video on Say's Law puts it the other way around. They say saving creates the investment because interest rates go down. Keynes says, no, it's not really like that. It's investment causes the saving because investment is connected with income. So if investment goes down, incomes fall, and saving suffers. Say's Law says supply creates demand. It's almost as though Keynes is saying, really, it's kind of more like demand creates supply. And if investment were to go up, the economy would grow, and people would save more. There's more income to save from through multiplier effects and income. Here we're doing this recession scenario. Declines in investment damage our income standing, the economy suffers, and so there's less saving in the economy. So the relationships get reversed when you compare classical and Keynes's viewpoints on how the economies function. Remember, this is theory, and theories are about relationships. So this is something to kind of keep in mind. I'll ask you, please explain these results. Well, investment fell. That has negative multiplier effects. The 2,000 created a decline in income of 10,000. 2,000 times 5 is 10,000. That's exactly how much income fell by. And yet, the equality between investment and saving has to hold, and so saving suffers. All right. I hope you can replay that part of the video and see, step by step how those relationships work. All right. Now I'm going to draw the graph, and the graph on this next problem is always a comparative one. So let's say number 16. Number 16 will tend to say, or the next question, whatever it is. Now draw a comparison. Draw a comparison between the first one we did, number 13, and what we just calculated after the recession. I'll read it exactly. Using C plus I lines only, draw a comparison of 13 and 15. All right, here we go. Using C plus I lines only. Oh, that makes it a lot easier. Keeps it simple. Okay, that looks like a better 45-degree diagram. Income, spending, income. I need two